The AI GRC Coffee Break welcomes Yunique Demann. Yunique helps organizations operationalize AI governance so decisions are clear, accountable, and defensible.
Hi George, it's Unique. What was your why for getting into AI governance? So I've been working in security and privacy for 15 plus years, and it seemed a natural progression to move into AI governance because when I think of AI, some of the concerns that immediately come to mind are around privacy and security controls. And having worked in that sector for a number of years, it just seemed like a natural fit to expand my current skill set to include AI governance and compliance around those areas. Also, having worked in the privacy sector, I increased my knowledge and awareness of legislation, regulation, standards, and controls. So now when I work really at the intersection of privacy, security, and law to enable responsible AI. And responsible AI is just making sure that AI is implemented with controls. It's implemented to protect personal data. It's implemented to ensure that fairness, bias, and transparency is addressed right at the beginning. Can you walk us through your daily triad? So I think the main thing is when you're coming to a role, from a security or privacy perspective, you wanted to make sure that there haven't been any midnight fires. You're checking your logs to make sure that there haven't been any incidents. Then once that's done, then you can start looking at work that you haven't touched or questions answered, use cases, AI assessments that you need to complete. I mean, there's no 2 days that are the same. AI covers such a breadth of skill set that, to give you a daily kind of list of things that I cover, it would be very long because every day is just the same. But I think the main thing is just ensuring that there aren't any fires and trying to be proactive. So you're looking at what is happening on the network, you're assessing any changes, you're making sure there's controls, you're reviewing any risk assessment, you're talking to teams and vendors and business units about what they're doing with AI, what they want to do. You're making sure that if you are managing agents, that none of them have done any adverse activities over the weekend or over the night. And that's why it's important to check your logs and make sure that you're monitoring those activities. You ask, what are some of the challenges of the AI governance role? I think the AI governance role is evolving. I don't think any two organizations have the same type of role. Even organizations in the same industry approach it very different because it means different things to different people. Like when I think of the AI governance role, as I previously said, I think of it as sort of the intersection of privacy, security, and law, and making sure there's security controls, making sure that personal data is adequately protected, and also making sure that any automated decision making is done transparently. Now, that's my perspective because I come from a privacy security background. But then an AI governance role in something like marketing could also be very different to an AI governance role in finance. I think it really depends on the industry. And I think because the role is so new, people are still trying to understand what it means, what kind of skill set you have. For me, I think there's so many transferable skills. I think the role can be anything you want, but the most thing is needs to bring value to the business. It needs to ensure that there is a level of fairness in the use of AI. There's clarity, there's ownership, it's legally defensible, compliant, and that we are using AI responsibly. So I think when you encompass those things into an AI governance role, no matter the industry, there should be a clear thread of similarities. Okay, so what have been some of the wins? I like when I'm able to communicate to businesses good and safe use of AI. Not everything that comes my way is a rejection. It's really about, okay, let's look at how we can implement this in the way that's safe, in the way that's sound, in the way that's legally defensible. Let's make sure that we understand what the tool does, what it's going to access, and how we can make sure it has the least privilege access available to do the job that it needs to do. So when I'm able to explain that to a team and they understand it and it's that aha moment, to me, that is a win. And I feel like having that security background and that privacy background where you are explaining those concepts, it's very similar. And so to me, a win is when we've implemented something, AI governance is brought in right at the beginning, at the requirements phase. The team understand the need for good governance, and we're all on the same page, and it's implemented in a safe, secure way. And then, what is your advice to aspiring AI governance professionals? As I said earlier, the role is very new. And so I don't think there is a clear career path from A to B. I think there's a lot of transferable skills that you can use. I think it's understanding, those concepts I mentioned before, the why, understanding how to implement AI responsibly, understanding how agents work, what they have access to, and why we need to control them. So I don't think there's a clear path, but I feel like anyone, who's passionate and who wants to get in this field, they can, and they can kind of make their own pathway. And I would just say, just continue learning, understanding, reading, communicating, and sharing. And, you will make your own path and you'll find your own way. And then lastly, on social media. So I am on LinkedIn under Yunique Demann. I do have a Substack at Yunique Demann for unique AI insights. And I also have a LinkedIn newsletter. And I do have Instagram and Facebook. They're not used as much. And I have a YouTube channel that I'm building up that has AI nuggets. And so I think lastly, my guiding question would be, the thing I ask anyone when they're thinking of implementing, or they have, or in the process of implementing AI, is if they can answer the question, is your AI use legally defensible? That means when a regulator comes knocking on your door, you can stand up and you can say, yes, we've implemented it with safe controls. We have an owner. We understand what it's doing, where it's going. We've had audit trails and we're monitoring, and it has least privileged access. When you're able to say that and you have identified your low, medium, high risk processes and usage, then to me, you're able to confidently say, is your AI use legally defensible? If you're not able to say that, then come and see me and I can help. Thank you.